We just want to put ourselves in position to be able to compete for a championship. But it takes it's a journey, and obviously we don't have as much chemistry as a lot of other teams that's trying to compete for a championship or have aspirations to win a championship. But I like we've been building over the last month.
Perk, AD is averaging. I know he doesn't play every game, but he's averaging almost 27 points, 12 and a half boards, a couple of blocks. His PER, for what it's worth, his efficiency, a 28. That puts him at MVP level easily, right? I mean, LeBron's got a legit crime partner and at least 4 other live NBA rotation, like genuine rotation pieces. I think they're live to win it. Where are you on the Lakers?
I wouldn't say live to win it, but they're live to win the Western Conference.
Sure.
There's no team in the West that want to see the Los Angeles Lakers right now, especially the way that Anthony Davis is playing. And the best thing that happened, it was a blessing in disguise, was that LeBron James went out, and then all of a sudden Darvin Ham demanded more out of Anthony Davis, and now they see the success that they need to have has to run through Anthony Davis. They have an identity on the defensive end. The pieces around them fit well. They have a great cohesive group that love to play with one another. They're playing with passion. And I said this when LeBron James went down. I said that Anthony Davis has an opportunity to go out there and change the narrative and put his name in the same conversation with Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid. And he has done just that over the last 3 weeks.
All right, Perk, let's talk about Steph and the Warriors. So the bad news, they lose again on the road. I'm not stressing that so much. They didn't have Wiggins. The good news, according to Woj, they're expected to get Andrew Wiggins back. Remember, he's not coming off injury. He had personal stuff he had to tend to. Yeah. He's getting him back early next week. So, Perk, what do you think about this Warriors team in the playoffs? Because I think they're even liver than the Lakers. I think the Warriors are very live to go all the way if Wiggins is Wiggins.
And Max, I think you live on that loud pack right now because listen, we are in playoff basketball before the playoffs. The addition of the play-in tournament has actually started the playoffs right now. And although Wiggins was out because of some personal issues, he still is coming back right in the heat of things, the thick of things, where basketball is being played at its highest level. Right now, I'm looking at the Warriors, man, and they have chemistry problems. And when I look at how they're playing, it's no more team with them. It's a bunch of individuals that's trying to get theirs. And yes, I may be talking about Draymond Green and Klay Thompson at times and Jordan Poole. I don't see that team chemistry. So with that being said, I believe their ceiling, even with Andrew Wiggins, is the second round exit.
What? The ceiling?
Yeah, the ceiling. The ceiling.
The ceiling is it for the defending champions when they get their best perimeter defender and third offensive option back. The ceiling is one playoff win, the series win.
Let me ask you a question. What has the Warriors done this season that makes you trust them, Max?
Actually, you want to hear something crazy? Their road record, which is awful. That's what makes me trust them. Because on the road, these veterans know, man, we only have so much we can burn. We're not wasting it on the road. We're going to do that in front of the home fans. And the home record tells me what they're going to look like in the playoffs, when you always have rest between games and when you know there's no taking games off. That's right, Perk, I said it. Let's move to college hoops and talk about the national championship tonight in Houston. San Diego won a nail-biter against Florida Atlantic Saturday night, while UConn easily handled Miami, which I thought that was going to be a tough game, to secure their spot in tonight's championship. Huskies, 7-point favorite to cut down the Nets. Coach Seth Greenberg with me now from Houston. Coach, the Aztecs are significant underdogs. How do they pull off the upset?
They make it a rock fight, Max. I mean, that's really plain and simple. For them to win, this has got to be an old school Big Ten defensive physical game, a half-court game. What they've got to do is own the tempo and the rhythm of the game. They got to do it on the defensive end. How do you disrupt the rhythm? Real simple. Pressure on the ball. Push ball handlers out, which lengthens that post pass to Adama Sanogo. How do you disrupt the rhythm of the game? But maybe getting some turnovers so you can play ahead of the defense. This is a San Diego State team that struggles scoring. So they got to find ways to score. What? Get to the offensive glass, create offense out of their defense, and then in the half court, they've got to disrupt the rhythm of this Connecticut offense that has been as good as any offense in the country, and really at another level during the NCAA tournament.
They're big favorites, and they're covering every spread all tournament. Hey, bottom line it, Coach. Who's the difference maker in tonight's championship game?
Adama Sanogo. He's been the best player in the tournament. He's averaging 20 points a game. He's the second leading rebounder. He's shooting 68% from the field, and he had a game with 6 assists. He's been the most dominant game player in the tournament. And think about this. When they need a basket, they do not a good job, but a great job of isolating him on the block, sealing, and getting him the basketball. Then if you scrape down after that, he kicks it back out. You got Jordan Hawkins knocking down jumpers. You got Andre Jackson cutting if they double off of him to get easy scoring opportunities. But Adama Sanogo has been the most dominant player in the NCAA tournament. I think he'll be the most dominant player in this game tonight, even though he's matched up with the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year in Nathan Mensah. Thank you, Coach. Aaron Rodgers is on his way out of Green Bay. What one Packer great said about his departure: it was this just instigating. Angel Reese and LSU won the women's national championship yesterday after beating Caitlin Clark and Iowa. Reese blew up Twitter when she was seen taunting Caitlin Clark with John Cena's "you can't see me" hand motion, a move Caitlin has used during the tournament. Here is Angel Reese after the game.
All year, I was critiqued about who I was. The narrative, I don't fit the narrative. I don't fit in the box that y'all want me to be in. I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year. But when other people do it, y'all don't say nothing. So this was for the girls that look like me, that's going to speak up on what they believe in. It's unapologetically you.
Kendrick Perkins with me now. You know, Perk, Caitlin Clark, I don't know if this blows up to the extent that it does. And by the way, there's the intersection here of race and gender, and, you know, it's a loaded issue. But there were all these pieces that came out on Caitlin Clark, right, about how good her trash talking is for the game. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's how we feel about it. Okay, I can get with that, no doubt. Let's build up characters that people know and everything. But if you're going to build it up with her, then the reaction from some quarters, right, to Angel Reese, it's like, well, wait a minute. We just made a big deal about how good it is when, not just neutral, but good when Caitlin does it. Is it bad when Angel does it? And then the fact that Angel Reese addresses it at the post-game presser, to me, that's where this thing really blows up. And I get Angel Reese's point. Perk, where are you with this?
I'm right there with you. And you know how they had that old saying, Max, it's no fun when the rabbit got the gun. But at the end of the day, this is what competing in sports is all about. This is high-level competition. We're talking about Angel Reese winning the national championship game, going against Caitlin Clark, who arguably might go down as one of the best, if not the best, college players to ever play the game for us in the women's category. So when I see this is what it's all about. You can't tell someone how to celebrate after they just delivered a national championship. Like, how dare anybody to judge her? Like, it's part of it. It's part of the game. And I'm not here to get back and forth into the whole race conversation because, again, people are going to have their different views and different, perspective on how this should be handled and things to that nature. But when you win a championship, you can't tell someone how to conduct themselves. Like, let them be them. And I think right now we have to let Angel Reese be the best version of herself, and damn it, we are getting it. And she earned it.
Meantime, Perk, there's a lot of conversation today and this morning, and I do the morning show KJM here on ESPN Radio, so we're discussing it for the better part of 4 hours this morning. But there's a lot of talk of, oh, it's too bad she did that because it upstaged this incredible tournament. To me, it just adds another dimension to the tournament. We care about stories, right? That's how we see the world, insofar as we care about well-defined characters. Who are they? What makes them tick? What are the obstacles? This women's tournament had it all. It had Iowa upsetting South Carolina. It had this now rivalry, right? And the taunting at the end of both games. Perk, it's upstaged the men's tournament in my view. You can't ask people, and many have in recent years, hey, pay attention to the women's side of the bracket, right? Because it's the right thing to do. They have to want to watch it. But this is not virtue signaling to say this year that's where the action was, on the women's side of the bracket. Do you agree?
I do agree. And you know what's crazy? This is facts, and this is how a lot of people feel. Women compete harder than men. If you watch women basketball or women's sports, they go at it. It's no jersey swaps that's going on. And I think that the guys need to take notes. This is how you compete. This is what we live for. This is old school at its finest. This is what we want not only the college, collegiate level to be at for us with the men, but this is what we want the NBA to get back to. When we seeing Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green trash talk each other, this is what the game is about, Max. Like, this is what we want. Women are going to go out there and compete. We know anything about women when they got into it in school and it was time for a fight. We know one thing, women not going to do pushing and shoving. They going to throw them straight hands. We know that.
Not that it's good for the women, but it is good for the college women's game that there is no league